Very good afternoon, students and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on the 3H webinar series brought to you by the Multimedia University. My name is Siva Priya and I am here representing the Faculty of Engineering, Multimedia University, Cyberjaya. I'm here today to share with you some information on green technology. After me this week, my colleagues will be sharing with you on energy efficiency, Wi-Fi, mobile phone, and nanotechnology as well. Dear students, while you are here in your homes, all cooped up during the school holidays because of this COVID-19 pandemic, why not make good use of the time and sign in every day at 2 o'clock to this link and learn some information? You can in fact invite your parents to join you because all the information that we will be sharing is current information, information that will help you to increase your general knowledge as well as it will improve your ability to help the environment and to come up with solutions that you can actually use. Okay, so let me start with asking you a question today. Today, our topic is about green technology. Now, what do you know about green technology? Every time I speak to people about green technology, everybody says, oh, is that about the greenhouse effect? Yes, you're right. Green technology and the greenhouse effect are closely interlinked. The greenhouse effect is an effect that is caused by excessive emissions of a gas known as carbon dioxide. I think most of my viewers today already know that this is caused by carbon dioxide, which traps the heat in our environment. The trapped heat is now causing multiple dangers to our ecosystem. It is causing an increase in the climate. It is causing the melting of the glaciers. It is causing the increase in the ocean levels. It is also causing unprecedented weathers with thunderstorms, lightning storms, category 5 hurricanes, droughts, all this which lead to other problems such as famine and people having to move out of their homelands and their coastal areas and more people moving to the inland. Now, when more people move from the coast to the inland, they cause other problems such as overpopulation, lack of food, and also hygienic problems. Now, green technology is a solution which was conceived by the scientists and by the engineers to solve some of the problems. So when I talk to you about green technology, or after today, when people talk to you about green technology, tell them that green technology is only connected to the greenhouse effect, but green technology is a solution which everybody can practice in order for us to conserve our environment for the future generation. Green technology basically means any technology that is causing reduced emissions or reduced waste being produced into our environment. So without further ado, let me share with you the presentation for today. Okay, let me share the screen. Now, green technology is basically about any type of invention or innovation that can produce a product with less emissions, with less energy intensity, or less wastage. If you can see my screen, you can see that I have highlighted, I'm going to highlight here to you the goals of green technology. So I say the word sustainable innovation. Now, this is another term that all of you hear all the time. You know, sustainable innovation, sustainable invention, sustainable engineering. But what is the meaning of sustainable? Sustainable means it is to do something or to produce something without damaging anything, or if I must damage something, let me damage as little as possible of the environment or the ecosystem around me. So a sustainable innovation is something which can produce a positive, short-term or long-term environmental effect. So the goals of green technology are being shown to you right now. Okay, reduced emissions. Now, mostly the emission that we are trying to reduce is carbon dioxide. But sometimes we misunderstand that carbon dioxide is only emitted through the burnings and open fires that we see. That is actually a wrong concept. Carbon dioxide is actually also overly produced by undue logistics, air freight, as well as when we try to burn our waste. So, in order to reduce the emissions, green technology also aims to reduce the use of material. That means we want to use the material efficiently, because when we use less material, we actually reduce on the logistics. We also reduce carbon dioxide, which is emitted to the environment when we produce the material itself. Okay, for example, when you want to produce a brick, you actually have to burn the the clay in order for you to mold the brick. Now, when I burn the clay or when I bake the clay, there is a byproduct of carbon dioxide being emitted from my oven. So, in order to reduce this, I should reduce the usage of the bricks. Another goal of green technology, which is a very important goal of green technology, is water conservation. Now, when I say water conservation, all of you say, oh, yeah, water is limited in the world. But actually, water is not limited in the world at all. All of you are better at this rain cycle understanding and explanation than me. If you understand the rain cycle, the amount of water on earth is actually fixed, which is about 70% of the earth, right? So water, when it is evaporated, it goes up, it creates the rain, and it comes down. But what I mean by water conservation here is conserving fresh water which I need to drink, fresh water which I need to water my crops, fresh water which allows fish to live in the oceans and in the ponds, because I need the fish to eat to survive. And also, the fresh water and unpolluted water ensures other beings in the ecosystem survive. Now, the another goal is reduced waste production. Now, if I have waste, I have to burn in order for me to get rid of the waste. So instead of finding a way to manage the waste, why not I do not create the waste in the first place? So by reducing waste production, I am actually applying the concept of green technology. And lastly, I think this is one concept which is easily understood by everybody, which is less energy consumption. Now, not only should you use renewable energy, you should use less renewable energy as well. Use only what is required. And where you can, conserve, conserve, conserve. Let me share some examples of green technology. A very common concept of green technology is the solar panel. Solar panels, when heated up, are able to generate electricity without producing carbon dioxide emissions into the environment. Now, Malaysia is one of the countries which can pioneer in the use of solar panels for mass production of electricity because of our weather. Now, some countries which do not have so much sunlight, they can opt for the use of wind energy. Wind energy will also be able to harness electricity so that we can reduce our reliance on fossil fuel burning to produce our electricity. The use of LED lights. Nowadays, most modern homes use LED lights. Have you ever wondered why? Because LED lights are energy efficient. They use only a fraction of the energy which is used by our fluorescent and other menthol bulbs. So where possible, we should change to LED lights. Now, I caution you, just because you change on to LED lights doesn't mean you can turn on all the lights and simply, appreciate the beauty of these lights. No. Even when we use LED lights, we must use as little of the LED lights as possible, because even though it is a small percentage of electricity, electricity is still required in order for you to light up the LED lights. Vertical farming is a new concept in green technology. Vertical farming is basically when we do farming on an upward trend. In the normal times, we do farming in a horizontal manner and we need a lot of land. Now, to reduce the wastage of land, vertical farming is now introduced where we can stack level upon level of plants in an abandoned building. So you not only save space, you make use of abandoned buildings as a place to do your vertical farming. Furthermore, this vertical farming can be done in an urban area. So people in the city do not have to rely on the fruits and vegetables coming from faraway farms. So we save the carbon dioxide emission that is emitted by the lorries that bring these vegetables and fruits to us from faraway remote areas. Composting. I'm sure a lot of you know what composting is. My mother does composting at home. She takes all the vegetable peels and all the fruit peels and she puts it in a big box with a little bit of soil. And after 2 to 3 months, she has some soil which she can use for farming. Now, composting is also done on an industrial level, and all this soil is now repackaged and sold to you as organic soil. Electrical vehicles. Not to be confused with the hybrid vehicle. The hybrid vehicle uses fuel as well as battery. The electrical vehicle is running mainly on electricity. Therefore, it does not have any carbon dioxide emission. Smart home. What's a smart home? I'm sure some of you already live in smart homes, right? Smart homes are homes which rely on sensors, Bluetooth, and Internet over Things or IoT technology to maybe inform the owner about the usage level of certain electrical appliances. For example, once upon a time, if you forgot to turn on the aircon and you went to work, your reaction would be like, oh my God, 8 hours of electricity? That's a lot of money. So right now, you have a solution. The phone will show you an alarm that says, your aircon is on. So let me turn off the aircon from the comfort of my office. And I save 8 hours of electricity. That is a fundamental concept of smart homes. Other appliances can be connected to the Bluetooth as well as the IoT things like your rice cooker, your washing machine, your lights. In fact, some smart homes only turn on the lights when people are in the room. It can detect when you are no longer in the room and it will auto turn off the electricity. The last example of green technology that I have here is a little bit on the high level. This is known as RF energy harvesting. Now, do you know how you get your signal on your handphone? You get it from the base station. And do you know how much power is consumed by all the base stations in Malaysia? It consumes easily 30% of our nationwide electricity consumption. So therefore, engineers are finding a way where the components within the base station itself can self-power themselves. And we call this concept RF energy harvesting. Now, some of you may be familiar with the terms of green buildings. Can I make my home into a green building? Of course. If you have a rainwater harvesting system where you save your rainwater to water the plant or to flush your toilets or to wash your car, then you have yourself a green building. On a larger scale, a lot of high-rise buildings actually do rainwater harvesting, and they also use the condensation water from the aircon to flush their toilets. And also they use it for some cooling systems as well as for other washing things that they can use within the buildings. Another example of a green building concept would be the use of the solar panel. The solar panel is used to generate electricity for the consumption within that building itself. So the building is no longer reliant on Tenaga Nasional or on the power to be generated or any other utilities provider that provides us with our very important electricity. Okay, it is able to generate its own electricity. And it is also equipped with equipment that uses electricity on a very high energy efficiency level. In order for us to get natural lighting and natural ventilation, we do not need to turn on the lights in the green building. When we open up the buildings, we open the window, there's enough lighting, sufficient lighting for us to at least not turn on the lights during the daytime and do our operations as normal. Another thing that is done in green buildings is the use of cooling material. Now, when we build our house with cooling material, then we do not have to turn on the aircon during the night, or we do not even have to turn on the aircon during the day. Perhaps a simple fan would be enough for us to feel very comfortable when we are inside a green building. Another green concept that I want to share with you is about the waste management. As I told you before, when we create a waste, we are forced to manage the waste. Now, the problem arises when waste management is very expensive. You can recycle, you can reuse, you can separate your waste. But people do not want to do it simply because, number one, you are not taught to do it since young. And number two, because it's cumbersome. Number three, because it may be expensive. So I say to you, why create the waste in the first place? So right on top of the hierarchy, you can see that the waste hierarchy is recommending us to prevent the waste creation wherever you can. It is the most favored option in waste management. The green color on the pyramid shows us minimization. That means if you must create the waste and there is no way that you can prevent the waste from being created, then minimize the amount of waste that you are creating. As you come down the pyramid, the one in yellow shows you reuse. Okay, I have created the waste because I have no choice and I cannot minimize the amount of waste that I have created. Therefore, teach me a way to reuse this waste within the building or within the product itself, or to use it for an alternative use without throwing it away. If I cannot reuse the waste, then I must recycle the waste and use it for something else. A good example of a recycling method is when they use your straws in order to make building materials in third world countries. So the straws that you throw away, instead of throwing it into the oceans, please separate it and sell it to these people who recycle the straws and make building materials as well as plastic bags from the straws that you throw away. Now, if you cannot recycle, can I recover some form of energy from this waste that I have created? Last but not least, and the least preferred of them all, is to dispose the waste. If I must throw away the waste, then throw away the waste in a way that you do not pollute the environment. You do not pollute the water source, you do not pollute your land, you do not pollute your air. So, ladies and gentlemen, children, I hope we will all start to practice the art of preventing waste material instead of disposing the waste material. Now, there are a few concepts of waste management that you can see on your screen. The first concept is the product life extension. Instead of throwing away your product, why not recycle, reuse, repair, or compost your waste? Now, a lot of businesses are developing, and we call them zero waste social businesses, who actually take your waste and change it into something else that can be used in another sector or another industry. So do not throw your waste, separate your waste, and try to sell them to the relevant business entities. The concept of energy recovery. Okay, if you remember from the pyramid just now, if you cannot reuse, you cannot recycle, then you must recover energy from the waste. So what happens is certain industries, they collect your waste and they take it to the plant where they burn it. But the heat that is produced from your waste is not wasted and it is not channeled to the environment. Instead, it is captured and it is used as a gas for you to do your cooking at home, or they can recover petrol from plastic. Did you know that this can be done? Because where does your plastic come from? Your plastic comes from petroleum, right? So if I can make plastic from petroleum, I can make petroleum from plastic. This is the chemical explanation, and this is what is being done by most of these energy recovery plants. Now, solid waste, which is burned, actually produces a lot of methane gas, and this methane gas is being researched so that they can produce the methane gas in a large quantity and use it to supply electricity to the homes. Now, of course, I'm an engineer, so I would like to share with you what is the role or what is my role in green technology. Number one, I want to come up with designs which are cost effective, which are flexible and can be converted for multiple uses. For example, if I designed a classroom, I would like to design a classroom which can be expanded or which can be reused in the night as a function hall. I would like to use data analytics. Data analytics is something like your artificial intelligence. It's a process of learning the trend of the usage and applying this trend of usage in order for me to create a product with less waste and that is also cost effective for my consumers. The use of Internet over Things in managing your electricity use, as well as the other concepts of green technology. We can use IoT to, detect how much waste is being produced, and also to maybe estimate how much waste I can collect from this neighborhood, and what can I do with the type of waste that I have collected. And then there is a concept in green technology that is known as niche marketing, where it asks you to study the market carefully and decide whether such a product is really required or not. Because if you do not need the product, do not create the product. Because if you create an unwanted product, it becomes a waste. Reduce resources. Now, as an engineer, I try my best to use the least material possible in order for me to produce something. But remember, we cannot compromise on quality. So I use the least amount of material. If I cannot use less material, I try to use an alternative material, but a material that is environmental friendly, so that I do not produce waste or produce harmful emissions to the environment. I try to install security and safety features in my products so that my products do not get spoiled easily and do not get hacked easily. So I do not have to keep on changing my hardware. I can just update my software and continue using the hardware. Because remember, when you throw away hardware like your old handphones, that is another type of waste. And electronic waste is a type of waste that is very difficult to manage and extremely hazardous to the environment. Lastly, before I develop anything or produce anything, I invest in research and development. I ensure that my product is cost effective, space effective, environmental friendly, as well as it is not polluting the environment. Now, in the Faculty of Engineering, Multimedia University Cyberjaya, we do a lot of research in green technology. One such research is creating a smart window. Now, the smart window uses a certain type of material which can detect the intensity of the light. Once the intensity of the light is detected, the sensors inside my smart room will be able to adjust my lighting as well as my air conditioning to a level which will make me comfortable, or to a level which is required, maybe for me to do a reading or to do office work. So basically, they put a type of a nanotechnology material on your glass. It's something like a tinting, but this is a different type of tinting where it is it's a sensor based. Okay, it can communicate with your sensor. Another research that we are doing is the use of second life electrical vehicle batteries. Now, remember I told you electrical vehicle is a concept of green technology. Now, all green technology and all products which we create, including the electrical vehicle, will have a waste. The waste of this electrical vehicle is its battery itself. So when we take out the battery from the smart vehicle, because we have to change it, maybe every 3 to 4 years. So what happens to all these batteries is they get stored up in a storage facility, and they are kept there because the cost of recycling is extremely high. So instead of storing it and keeping the waste, why not I take this waste and use it to power up other things, like powering up a building. So this is one of the research that is being conducted by Faculty of Engineering. Another research is an IoT-enabled energy monitoring of appliances, which uses fiber optics, as well as it's an artificially intelligent system, which allows us to detect the humidity as well as the power that is used by the equipment and the appliances. Another very interesting research that is being done by our optimization team is they try to use the electricity which is produced by the electrical vehicle as well as the consumers, and they try to provide it as another energy source for other homes. They try to use all this and provide it as electricity to the homes. And also, because electricity is becoming more and more expensive, as well as the industries are demanding more and more electricity, we try to use the electricity that is already produced elsewhere other than from the power, and try to feed it to cater for the industrial need as well as for the home needs. and we can use data analytics to study the trend of the users so that we can provide electricity to those that require more electricity and only generate electricity that is required. Now, all these things probably have muddled you up, and you are thinking, yes, all this sounds so high tech, but what can I do? I'm just, in the form 4 or form 5, or I'm just at home all the time. What can I do? You'll be surprised at the amount of things that you can actually do to help the environment preserve. First of all, switch off your electricity when not in use. Trust me, one light is enough for you to light up your home in the nights, okay? Unless, of course, there is a function, but you can turn on the lights and turn it off when it's not in use. Turn off the fans, set your air conditioning at 24 degrees Celsius, because this is recommended as the optimum use level, where you still get a cool environment to sit in and do your work, but you do not overuse the electricity. Dematerialize. Dematerialize basically means stop using material or use as little material as possible. Use 5-star energy efficient rated appliances. Now, when you go out to buy things sometimes, or probably you can check all the appliances in your house, and you can see some of them have 2-star, some of them have 3-star. Have you ever wondered what this means? So 5-star means it's extremely energy efficient. 4-star means maybe about 80% energy efficient. 3-star about 60% energy efficient. So try to buy equipment that is 5-star rated. Although it may be a little bit more expensive at the beginning, in the long run, it will give a very good energy efficient usage of this appliance in your house. Upgrade your equipment software. Stop buying the hardware unnecessarily, especially for your laptops and your handphones and your desktops. Remember, I told you electronic waste is very, very expensive to manage. And most of the time, it ends up getting dumped illegally in third world countries. And this causes a lot of land pollution as well as a multitude of health issues. Purchase locally produced materials. As I told you, the concept of green technology is not only about reducing the open burning as well as the forest fires. We don't realize how much carbon dioxide is actually being produced when we have one flight travel. One plane traveling across is a lot of carbon dioxide being emitted into the environment. So where you can, try to buy locally produced materials. If you live in the city, try to buy from these suppliers who do virtual farming. So the vegetable and the fruit is actually just next door to you, and you do not have to rely on transport to bring it from the remote areas to your homes. Remember, the lorries are also contributing to the carbon dioxide pollutant to the environment. Separate your waste. Please take the effort to separate plastics from glass to paper and try to sell it to these people who use this waste to either do energy harvesting, or they are able to recycle it to make into a better product which can be used instead of just throwing away your waste. Lastly, conserve water. Where you can, harvest the rainwater. You know what's the easiest rainwater harvesting system? Just put a big pail out there and catch whatever water you can. Who knows, you can just use it to wash your bicycle or just to water the plants within your compound. So do not waste water, do not pollute water. Well, that actually kind of brings me to the end of my presentation. At the end of this presentation, I would actually like to share with you a small video about the Faculty of Engineering. This Faculty of Engineering, uh, actually, you can see our website, as well as I'm also share with you the link to our Facebook. You can also go to our Facebook and check out the activities which we do on the Faculty of Engineering. Okay, students, I'm pretty sure all of you are tired. So how about we play a small game, okay? So I need you, if you're in front of your computer or in front of your phone, I want you to go to this website, Kahoot it, and put in this game pin. Okay. So you can sign in. You can sign in with your name, uh, and you can play this game. Just to recap on what I taught you, just to see how how well you understood this. So the code that you should put in Kahoot.it is 2318845. Okay, so I'll give your friends some time to sign in. Okay, I'm sure there's a whole lot more of you out there. Come on, sign in. Let's play a game. It's in the afternoon. It's 2 o'clock. We're all sleepy. We're all tired. Okay. So I'll tell you what we can do is I'm going to start playing the Kahoot now. And don't leave because I'll be giving you your link for your attendance shortly, which will enable you to get your e-certificate for attending this webinar series. Okay, so I'm going to start. If you're unable to join, there's a high chance that a lot of you can't join due to the network congestion. But please follow through my questions and just answer it by yourself, just to check, how much of what Miss Siva has shared you understand. Yeah. So here we go. This is the first question coming up. Okay, very good. And we have a winner so far. Ta-da! So the goal of green technology is not to use materials which are expensive, actually. Okay, use materials which are environmental friendly where possible, and as much as possible, try to reduce the materials. Okay, so yeah, paper is not green technology. Okay, so in this time we are all going towards becoming paperless, right? So paper is hopefully going to be something of the past. And while we see Sharwin is on fire, yep, yeah, this is an obvious answer. Okay, I know playing water is like a fun thing to do. The weather is so hot, but what I can suggest you do is if you want to play water, harvest your own water and then play with the rainwater. Okay, all right. And we are down to our last question. Okay. So obviously, engineers, we cannot produce a product which is expensive. So try our best to be as cost effective as possible, because saving costs, reducing costs is another concept of green technology. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have our top three winners. Little Sin, Jiasun, and Sharvin. All right, excellent. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me with this Kahoot game. I would like to share with you the attendance link for all of you who have faithfully listened to me since 2 o'clock. Okay, and we will generate the e-Cert and email it to you. You can either scan the QR code or you can go to the link that I'm showing you here. Okay, please be reminded, unfortunately, you have to tell your friends if they want to collect the other certs along the way, then they have to listen to the live webinar, because certs will only be given to those who sign up for this and watch the video with me, as well as sign up the attendance during the webinar time itself. Okay, so I'm going to flash this for a while. In the meantime, I'm not sure if you guys have any questions. Are you all sharing anything? Do we have any questions, Inche Burhan? Okay. Before I stop presenting, I would just like to remind all those that are following me today, please share with your friends that there are some more upcoming webinars this week. Okay, tomorrow, Prof. Yusuf will share with us how your Wi-Fi works. Okay, you guys know the Wi-Fi modem is at home, but how does this Wi-Fi actually work? And on Wednesday, we will have Dr. Sin and Dr. Lee Lini, who will share with us what is nanotechnology. What mysterious thing is this? If you guys have watched like Big Hero 6, Big Hero 6 is all about nanotechnology. So let's talk about nanotechnology on Wednesday. And then Prof. Yusuf will join us again on Thursday and share with us on how the mobile phone works. And lastly, Dr. Gobi will share with us on energy efficiency, how you can play a role in conserving the energy that we have with us today. All right. So with that, I'm going to stop presenting. Okay, Encik Burhan, do I have any questions? Okay. All right. So if you have any questions on the presentation or on green technology, or maybe you want to know more about, engineering, please feel free to drop us a note and we will try to respond to your questions as much as possible. Right. So thank you very much for joining me and I wish you a great day. I think the weather is still very good. So it's time to go out and play. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Okay. So bye-bye.